When Paper Mario was released in 2000, it picked up the baton from Super Mario RPG and introduced us to the first RPG with a unique paper aesthetic. 4 years later, the Thousand Year Door followed it, and it instantly became a classic. What made these games great was they never really attempted to be groundbreaking. They were tried and true traditional JRPGs with humorous writing that built on the foundation laid out by Super Mario RPG, and simply used the paper art style as an artistic choice. Every element you would expect from an RPG is here, from EXP, to party members, turn-based combat, and special moves. Unfortunately, it's been almost 22 years since the last one. And yes, I know what you're thinking. What are you talking about? There were a lot of other Paper Mario games released after Thousand Year Door. Unfortunately, regardless of their quality, the series lost its identity. As mentioned before, these games began as traditional JRPGs that simply used the paper art style as an artistic choice, but later, they gradually shifted towards experimental gameplay genres and games that built around the paper gimmick itself. Now, mind you, the Thousand Year Door did make use of our mustache friend's paper anatomy, but as a whole, it was simply a standard JRPG. On the other hand, here we have a non-traditional 2D platformer RPG hybrid that played around the fact that characters remain 2D in a 3D plane. How about this one? Here we have an RPG that omitted a traditional level up system and the point of battling in place of stickers, because, you know, stickers go on paper. Now mind you, that's not to say the games are bad, but fans have spent years asking, where is the real sequel? Well, it might already exist, at least spiritually. If you don't already know, let me introduce you to Escape from EverAfter. And you get the point. Are you convinced? So the story follows Flint Buckler, a standard hero who has been battling a fierce dragon for a very long time. Determined to slay this dragon once and for all, he re-enters its castle, but instead of finding the dragon, he is met by a receptionist inside a corporate office. Strange. So it turns out this entire world is actually a storybook and has been taken over by a company, EverAfter Inc. As a result, our hero takes the most logical action. He gets a job there, in a secret attempt to gain clearance to the real world and take down the company at its core by climbing up that corporate ladder. Now, doing this requires embarking on assigned missions through different worlds, each themed after children's books, such as The Three Little Pigs and Sherlock Holmes. The worlds are vibrant and filled with both interesting characters and diverse themes, so you can expect to explore jolly villages, pirate ships, and haunted towns with monstrosities. And they each rarely miss an opportunity to put their own spin on their borrowed source material. For example, here we have the Big Bad Wolf. Seriously, that's the Big Bad Wolf. He's adorable. I want to touch him. All of this combined with clever writing and memorable characters honestly kept me smiling throughout most of the campaign, and most importantly, the gameplay never falls behind either. If it wasn't clear before, the game unapologetically borrows from the Paper Mario series. As opposed to using a hammer in combat or stomping enemies, however, Flint fights using a buckler, basically a glorified boomerang. Now, as is the case in Paper Mario, pressing the action button with proper timing can result in double damage, while pressing it prior to an enemy attack can reduce damage taken. Meanwhile, Flint's companions each have their own moves with unique commands as well, whether that's jamming a guitar or scorching an enemy on fire. Instead of flower points, here we have mocha points, yeah, coffee, to execute more powerful attacks. Why coffee? Because employees drink coffee. It's an office theme. Meanwhile, synergy points, or SP, are this game's version of star powers, uniting the cast together to whoop some extra booty. Something unique in this game in comparison to Paper Mario is the ability to switch out both the main character and the party members during combat, as opposed to only the latter. Each party member shares the same Mocha and Synergy points, as well as bring their own unique skills, which become more necessary during the later half of the game. One other unique feature is the ability of reviving falling comrades by sacrificing half the HP of the remaining member. Outside of battle, party members can use unique abilities, such as lighting torches with fire breath, and growing plants with the sound of music, to open new passages and unlock bonuses. None of this is complex enough that a 6-year-old couldn't solve it, but it still adds a nice element of puzzle solving while exploring the worlds. Another feature which will again be familiar to those who have played Paper Mario: The Dial in Your Door are trinkets, this game's version of badges. Equipping these grant characters special skills or enhances their stats. Now notice, I wrote characters plural because unlike in The Dial in Your Door, these are not exclusive to the main character. Just like The Dial in Your Door, they require a specific amount of trinket points, like badge points, to equip, which can be increased upon leveling up. While these add an extra layer of customization, I do admit that I found myself leveling up my HP and MP more than the trinket points, probably because the game's difficulty did not really warrant them until very late into the campaign. Escape from EverAfter comes with several difficulty options, easy, normal, and hard. I played the game in normal as it read the intended difficulty, and if there's one complaint I have, and this is also a warning to all newcomers, is that one particular achievement requires never switching out of hard mode, which the game never warns you about. To make matters worse, the game does not include a New Game Plus to incentivize players to start over either. With that being said, after finishing the story, along with all the trinkets, there are two different types of collectibles to search for, which can be put to full use in a 100 floor challenge, clearly inspired by the Pit of 100 Trials from Paper Mario: The Dial in Your Door. Altogether, players can expect a campaign of around 20 hours, with full completion landing somewhere around 28 to 30 hours. This puts it roughly in the same range as the original Paper Mario on Nintendo 64. By the way, have I mentioned that this game was created by a team of only 2 people? Maybe I'm out of touch with the indie world, but that is still mind-boggling to me. In the end, Escape from EverAfter doesn't just wear its inspirations on its sleeves, it understands what made them special in the first place. By blending sharp writing, charming world design, and a battle system that captures the timing-based magic fans have missed for decades, it delivers the kind of experience many have been hoping Nintendo would return to. It isn't without its blemishes, from a few questionable design decisions to some missed opportunities in replayability, but those shortcomings don't take away much from the experience either. For longtime fans of classic Paper Mario, this feels less like an homage and more like a true successor. A reminder that sometimes the best way forward is to remember what worked so well in the past in the first place.